You're listening to episode 85.
85.
Of Fresh Floppies. Are you okay?
Yeah, thanks. What's up to all our sidekicks and henchmen out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently listening to Fresh Floppies. I'm feeling under the weather, but honestly, I think it makes me sound sexier.
He's faking it.
He's
faking it. It's just earlier than we usually record, and coffee hasn't hit the larynx. Hasn't coated the throat as much as possible. So he's thrown on an affectation.
I'll be honest. I wish I always sounded like this.
Because
normally I sound like this. What's up, guys?
Okie dokie, let's talk about comics.
Wait, what are we doing today?
Oh, hey, we're here to talk about Fresh Floppies. No, the show you're listening to is Fresh Floppies, and we're also here to discuss Fresh Floppies. What's a Fresh Floppy?
Oh, a Fresh Floppy is a weekly released periodical that tells an ongoing story about your favorite characters in IP and creator-owned. In comic books. It's floppies.
We're doing so well.
They're single issue comic books. Come on, you turned. You hit play. You know what's going on. There's
and they just hit pause.
This was you hit play.
Delete.
And then so this was a really, really big week. Both of us read around 10 books, and we're gonna try and get through as many as we can. But it's clear one book is probably the biggest release today, and that's One World Under Doom. Number 1, written by Ryan North with art by R.B. Silva.
I was just asking about him last week.
Where's R.B. Silva?
Oh, he's right here,
idiot.
Yeah, he's right here.
He's drawing his books, you dumb butt. So this is the launch of the new all-encompassing Marvel Comics event.
Yes.
This is a event with a big E, not a small E.
Yeah.
There's little events where it's just only one line of books or only Avengers or only X-Men. This is a big event. The whole world. Set up for this about a year ago at the end of Blood Hunt. Sorry, spoilers for a year-old Big E event. Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange was tricked by Doctor Doom to give up the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme. And Doctor Doom was like, haha, sucker, and then disappeared for a couple of months.
I'm trying to think. It was you have to give me the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme so that we can handle this thing.
Yeah,
as soon as I save the world, you can have it back. And so afterwards, Doctor Doom's like, all right, Doctor Strange is like, all right, can I have the shit back? And he's like, I'm not done saving the world, mother.
Yeah. It was the most obvious, but also the most winky finger pointing. I see what you did here.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Yeah, he was very specific with his words.
Yes.
I will hand over the mantle as soon as I am done saving the world from this threat. Mm-hmm. And it was there's more threats.
Yeah. So we're off to a pretty fun start, I think.
Yeah. This both of us have been dabbling with Fantastic Four by Ryan North.
True.
But very far behind. This was still a very accessible book to check out. If you had read Blood Hunt, you kind of already know. Mm-hmm. Also, they have been sprinkling little fun sorcery doomy things throughout the Marvel universe for the last 6 months or so. Most explicitly in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's not a net new of what?
Huh? How did this happen? Yeah.
My biggest thought reading 75% of this issue. It is a oversized issue. My biggest thought more than halfway through is, based Doctor Doom,
dude, right?
Based,
hey, hold up. Mine was so we have a wannabe dictator, but he's actually doing good things.
Yeah,
neat.
Let's just. And that's honestly, I think that's the absolute point. It's we're going to give you absolutely everything you need to survive, a living wage, free health care, free housing, the whole nine. Just, fealty. Yeah. just
be cool, dude. Just be cool, bro.
Just be cool with me being the leader of the entire world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also changed. It was neat that he changed it to the Gulf of America.
Yeah,
I thought that was neat.
Yeah, he changed it back to the Gulf of America. Because it always should have been. Actually, it's probably the Gulf of Doomstant.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Shit, I missed a good bit there.
Yeah.
Shit. But this was really fun. I really enjoyed this first issue. I was really looking forward to it because I loved how Blood Hunt ended.
Yeah.
As soon as that was over, I was excited for whatever was happening next. And here we are. We got it. We can't spoil much, but that's one of the best pages in comic books right there.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
So I was actually going to ask you, I love R.B. Silva.
Yes.
some of this is like a B- RB Silva.
It's not the RB Silva that I was anticipating.
Right? There, like, especially in the early scenes, I'm wondering if this book was maybe drawn out of order because there's some stuff in the back half, the spread that you showed, that's just like to the hilt, 9 out of 10, 9.5.
Yeah.
But there's some like just conversation scenes or layouts or larger sequences that are
fine.
They're his faces don't look like they normally do.
Right.
His acting doesn't. It almost looks like they're not out of the sketch phase.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's trying a new thing, and we're like in the transition of it. But it's not just. I'm not even comparing it to like House of Powers of 10.
Mm-hmm.
He did a run on Captain America that was absolutely phenomenal. That was just a normal monthly book. I assumed he had a bigger leeway on this, and maybe he's trying something. But at first, it was like, is the whole book called RB Silva? Like I went and looked at the credits, but other than that, awesome.
I mean, that being said, even B- RB Silva is still like top tier.
I would still recommend this book to absolutely anyone.
Yeah.
But if we're grading on a curve and that curve is RB Silva, this is a little lower than the curve.
Yeah, for sure. But the story's fun.
Oh yeah, this was absolutely wonderful. A lot of setup, but a lot of really fun promise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I care. How do I say this? I don't know if I'm going to care about all of the books that are coming out, but I'll certainly try them, and we'll see.
There's a couple that seem cool, and then there's a couple that are like, no, okay.
Yeah.
I was very pleased with a couple of the little editor notes, that stuff that has happened in other books.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they're if it wasn't tied in explicitly before, they are finding little ways to kind of like connect dots. Like specifically, there's a beat that happened in like the Random Thunderbolts miniseries last year,
yes.
and like little things like that are just like, okay, cool,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
It feels not unlike old school like Secret Invasion, where they really were kind of like laying breadcrumbs for more than just 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bug Wars came out from Jason Aaron, Mahmoud Asrar, Matthew Wilson, and Becca Kari from Image Comics. It's a new #1. It's a thick boy.
Yeah, so I didn't know I was going to read a Thor comic book. No. A Conan comic book.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was like, what?
Some vibes are similar. So this is a book about Bug Wars?
Yeah, aptly titled Bug Wars. It is, let's see, what is it? I would say it is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but with a lot of viscera. A lot of people being cut in half.
There's an adult, there's a rated R barbarianism war book that is juxtaposed with sci-fi hijinks.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a tone that I wasn't expecting.
Yes.
But kind of really dug.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is for.
Dude, right. Thank you.
It's like playful and whimsical, but then also fuck you and ripping through faces and showing like all the gore. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you get the classic, someone is cleaved in twain, like right down the middle of the face.
And someone gets punched through the face, and you get the shot from the back of the head, and teeth fly towards the screen.
Yeah. Not what I was anticipating.
I kind of loved it, but it's one of those loves where it's just like, I appreciate the swing.
Yeah.
You hooked me, so why am I here? And I'm waiting for the next issues to kind of tell me why I'm here. Like he even created like some really, really weird and interesting backstories for some of the human characters of like, Arrested Development, torn houses, murder mystery, trauma, like, but it's also ants and mites fighting each other as barbarians.
It's such a strange book. I think we're both in the same spot where I'm like, oh, that was cool. I don't know if I care enough.
I wouldn't go as far as say I don't know if I care. It's more I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Prove it. Or like bring me there.
I think that's the same thing I just said. I don't know if I care, but if the next issue is even better, then sure, I'll care. You know what I mean? We're off to a good spot.
Mincing words. I care to know what happens next.
Yeah.
And it's on
I
the fence whether I'm invested.
I don't know if I care enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I certainly didn't waste my time reading it.
This book is dope. Did you read the
I did.
in the back the the notes?
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah.
I would. I think it's pretty fresh.
Yeah, I think it is. Oh, yeah. Also, One World Under Doom was fresh AF for me. Bug Wars, I would say, yeah, pretty fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give it a shot if you like Jason Aaron. If you like Conan, if you like bugs.
I hate bugs, so no, let's not go with that. Just if you like, it's an action book. It's a weird sci-fi action book with bugs. Just roll. I mean, if you like bamboo swords and warrior beetles as tanks.
You were saying Conan. I was thinking of the other guy. Was it John Carter of Mars? Right?
Oh, it's got a little bit of John
He's like
Carter,
a dude who just shows up in another world where there's a bunch of aliens at war, right?
Actually, you know what? That's probably a much better pull because it seems as though our human character maybe has denser. Bugs are still bugs. Right.
That's a good point. Yeah. One of my favorite Simpsons bits is when they go to Africa and they go off the waterfall and Homer lands in a giant man-eating flower and it chomps around him, and then the whole family's like, "Oh my god!" And then a beat happens, and then he just kind of pushes a petal over and walks out. And Dad, how did you do that? It's a flower. I love that bit.
Speaking of a flower, the next book we're going to talk about is Eddie Brock Carnage #1, written by Charles Soule with art by Jesus Saez.
He's awesome.
I know he is.
He's so good.
I've been on the Jesus Saez train for years.
Oh my god!
It's a fast-moving train, gets you from destination to destination in comfort. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Also, I love Charles Soule. I don't care enough about Eddie Brock. I don't care enough about Carnage.
Yeah, I've heard this song,
but now I do. This was my favorite book of the week. I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed this. The art is fantastic, and the conversations between Eddie and Carnage. And the way Carnage kind of presents himself at the end,
it's pretty dope.
It's pretty cool, man. I think both Venom and Carnage are both on a good spot right now as books. Right now, Carnage is my top symbiote book.
I like this a lot. I'm not even going to compare the two. I think they're
different.
No, I don't even have a favorite of the two. They're just both interesting enough right now.
Yeah.
Venom, it's interesting and it's fun, but if I skipped a book, I wouldn't feel it.
Right.
This is a little bit more traditional and grabs a little bit better. There's a really good conceit here. I mean, you know what? It's not even very. It's going to sound like a derogatory. It's not even very original.
Oh no.
It's just well done.
Yeah.
It's, he's fighting the symbiote inside him who wants to kill, and he's giving him a little piece here and a little piece there, and they're, wrestling control. Got it. Yeah. It's just really well put together. And I enjoy that kind of meat and potatoes comic books.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty fresh. Only because it's not, it's just good. It didn't blow me away, but it also didn't, there's no caveats. There's no it's okay if. It's just solid. It's just meat and potatoes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's great. Sometimes I want to watch an action movie.
Potatoes, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I want to do this. Sometimes am I looking for a, let's carry on the food metaphor. Am I looking for a perfectly seasoned gastro pub crazy new experimental meat and potatoes? Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I just going to Chili's, and I'm going to get a good slab of meat.
I was going to say Lone Star, but all right.
Chili's.
I don't know if Chili's.
Yeah, Chili's.
Chili's is. Yeah, that would be Chili's.
Sometimes I'm just going to Outback.
There it is.
This is solid.
For me, I thought this was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I really had a lot of fun.
And
with
it really does. The end is really great. The stuff that it's a rated R book, in violence at least, and the stuff. Oh I think the end of the issue is just phenomenal.
How does this not have a red band cover?
I don't know.
Right?
It should, right?
This should be a red band book, considering at least one of the pages that's in here.
Yeah.
Which is just very gore heavy. This was really fun. I was surprised at how much I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought this was dope.
Highly recommend.
The next book I'm going to talk about.
Why don't you?
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
I'm going to. Mine is A Long, Lonesome Grave, written by Justin Jordan with art by Chris Sheehan. This is wonderful. This is a man gets out of prison after 20 years and goes back to his. You don't exactly know what happens, just that his wife was killed and his daughter is now estranged, raised by family friends. He goes back home to unbury some money to give to his daughter and then, beat out. But then things start to get weirder and weirder, and then you find out, are these magicians and are these warlocks and witches and fucking hexes, and it's gross. So it's basically like a supernatural version of something, supernatural modern Western with some organized crime vibes, and somebody wanting to get out and gets kind of like dragged back in a way. Like it's really fun.
Yeah?
It's really, really fun.
I haven't had a chance yet.
It is
let me see that.
appropriately violent, appropriately unsettling, and the artist, I don't know who Christian is, but the art is really serviceable, really nice. Like it's got it's if Sean Phillips and Michael Lark had a baby, it would be this with a little less shadow. It services the story incredibly well, and the whole time I'm reading it, I don't do this often. I started kind of casting it almost a little bit because it reads very cinematic. So I just almost started casting it in my head, like, I would watch this, I could see this. It's good. It's very good.
Nice.
Like, this is a good blind pickup. Justin Jordan typically does limited series and miniseries. I don't think this is a long ongoing. And I hope it isn't, because it's such a tight story right now. If it's going to be 30-something, 40-something, 50-something issues, it's not going to be the same plot thread. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is a very, very there's clarity in how he's telling the story. There's a very, very clear through line and goal and a timeline attached to it. So, like, I want this to be just a quick punch in the jaw. Yeah. Like, this should be a tight book, and I'm really excited to finish it.
Nice. Yeah, I really like Justin Jordan. He does a lot of good stuff. A lot of good crime.
Crimey-wimeys?
Gritty crimey-wimeys, yeah.
Yeah, Dead Body Road was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Creepshow in Love is a one-shot that just came out. Tales of Suspense and Horror 2025 special by Mirka and Dolfo Patrick Horvath, Yopyong O, and Puree. So this is 3 horror romance stories. And it's funny, the very first one feels a lot like a movie I saw last night called Hard Eyes.
Tell me nothing.
I tell you nothing. I think 2 out of the 3 of these are really, really solid. I really liked 2 of the 3 of these. I think one of them is just fine. But I'm a big Tales from the Crypt fan, so I like Creepshow. It's got the exact same vibes. It's got the snarky narrator or intro host. Just
what the hell is it? The Creeper?
The Creeper.
Okay.
Yeah, the Creeper. As opposed to
I liked
the Crypt Keeper.
I didn't finish it, and I will eventually go back, the actual Creepshow anthology book, the main book, and I dug it. But every time they've done a one shot, I've not really enjoyed it as much. Okay. There was the Wolf one by Joe Hill, which was like a tone poem and weird. And then there was another holiday one, and there's a Christmas one. So this sounds like it's good, man.
Yeah, two of the 3 I think are
Can't
great.
wait till they're collected.
Yeah, so what is that? Are they on volume 3 now of Creepshow, I think?
Yeah, I think 3 is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be a collection coming of that soon, yeah. Yeah, I like it's kind of campy, schlocky horror stuff. Horror comics.
Yeah, they're little parables. They're meant to be short stories, and it's short stories are really, really hard. Yeah.
Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, let's get our rings and let's
start slinging them rings.
Let's sign up to be space cops.
ACAB. DC All In presents.
All space cops are.
ASCAB. DC All In presents Green Lantern Corps #1. Jeremy Adams, you fucked me up. Jeremy Adams, Morgan Hampton, Fernando Passarin, Claire Albert, and Arif Prianto. I like this a lot. So all of the Green Lanterns that are on the cover, I am excited to see. I think that there are a bunch of Green Lanterns that were introduced in the past 10 to 15 years that for one reason or another I have not had enough exposure to. I think maybe when those characters were created, and I was like, oh, very cool. But then the people who started writing the books, I didn't care about. So I didn't keep up. So the fact that Simon Baz is here and Jess Cruz
I love
is
Simon
here.
and Jess. That was my favorite scene. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I love that Joe is here. What's Joe?
It's Joe Mullen.
Mullen. So
that was the only one that bothered me.
Joe?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Actually, also Teen Lantern. What's their deal right now?
I don't know.
But there's been like 80 books that I haven't read, and this really didn't catch me up. But the last thing I read of Joe was Far Sector, and this is not the same tone of character whatsoever.
No.
At all. And I don't know how that makes me feel yet.
Well,
Joe Mullen in Far Sector, competent, confident, a little brassy, and she is her purpose so far in the story is to just take care of John's well-being, and I want more or not at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, put her in front
something.
or give her something. Right now she's got nothing, but all the other side characters have something.
Yes.
Even fucking Guy Gardner has something that's plot driven.
Yeah.
She doesn't. So even Teen Lantern and his sister have something. Joe is the only character that has nothing, and I don't like that.
I think she's in like one scene, maybe.
Still,
like in passing.
So is Simon, and they have actual plot mechanics.
Yeah.
And she doesn't, and it bothered me. It's probably not intentional. But as the only tick against this book I can see, because the art is fantastic.
Yeah, it really is.
The story, like Fernando Passaran is so good at facial acting. There's even background noise of like, them in the precinct and crazy shit happens, and it's all like sight gags that just so work. This is a crazy fun book.
The gag with Guy Gardner in the
awesome.
It's so
absolutely
good.
Awesome.
So good.
This is a crazy good book, and the only sour taste in my mouth is you respect Sojourner Mullen with everything in your being.
Yeah.
Give her something, or put her in the background.
Yeah.
Don't bring her in for a throwaway line about how she cares about your well-being. Like, no.
You do her
She's
good.
going to tell you what to do because you're fucking up. Not, you know what I mean? Like, that's the Joe that we saw for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. That was my bugaboo about this. But other than that, it was a great book.
Also, this is dumb.
Really protective of Joe Mullen.
She was drawn in a very specific way by who was that?
Jamal Campbell. I wasn't going to say that, but that also really bothered me too, because every time that anyone else has drawn her, they take her curves away.
Yeah, man.
And it's not a cheesecakey thing.
It's not a lecherous thing. It's just
literally how she is depicted. She is a curvier woman. She's
just drawn like every other female superhero in her early 20s.
Her physique can be completely transferred with Jessica's.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's
just change the hair.
That was the only thing about the art that bothered me, because the art is really good.
But they've done that with her and the others. So I've sampled here and there, like Jeffrey Thorne's run and the beginning of I think there was Philip Kennedy Johnson. She was in some of that book with John, and they thinned her down, and they, from what I can tell, they kind of dulled her attitude.
Yeah.
And I don't like it at all.
Just not quite the same.
It's not even
Jamal
same.
Campbell.
It's not that it's not the same. I don't like it.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's like a no, I'm sorry. I'm not correcting you. It's just I want to be harsher about it. It's not the same. Yes. But not the same doesn't mean bad.
Right.
I don't like this.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you noticed the attitude and I noticed the physique, and I was like, this is not quite the same.
I noticed the physique, but it was the attitude that bothered me more. I'm like, every artist has their own.
Sure.
It's fine. But one problem made the other problem worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doing Joe dirty.
Yeah.
Better fix her up.
Did you know that Absolute Green Lantern is Sojourner?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. It's going to be her. She's going to be the Absolute. So Al Ewing is writing Absolute Joe Mullen.
I did not know that was coming.
Man.
Great.
Anyway.
We'll see.
I'm going to talk about a book really quickly that surprised me again.
Right? We were surprised the first time.
But I was surprised again.
I love it.
With issue 2. This is Magik #2, written by Ashley Allen with art by Jermaine Peralta.
And because you can't hear it, it's Magik with a K. From Marvel
Magik.
Comics. Marvel Magic.
So, we don't even have to talk about the plot of this book. It's hey, they're gonna kill mutants to collect these sigils to bring about a demon, and she's gonna stop them.
Yeah.
That's it. But it just gets a little deeper. And the thing about it is, I absolutely love hearing Ashley Allen's version of Magik. The banter between her and like the side characters that were just introduced in this book. She gets asked out on a date. They go to a concert. There is a fine line between YA tweeny kind of stuff and actual stakes and scariness.
Yeah.
And this rides it so hard and so pristinely. I think I love this book.
Yeah.
And Jermaine Peralta's actions, the panel layout and the action scenes, so good. Like there are some beats in here where, you know, like Ileana transforms or like turns into her costume and slams her sword down, and I could fucking hear it.
Mm-hmm.
This is such a good meat and potatoes book
Yeah.
for the X-Men. This book is great.
Oh,
this
I'm
book
excited.
is just straight fire.
I really was surprised. Both of us were really surprised by Magik #1 because you know what I've heard more and more, the more I bring it up to customers and stuff, they're like, yeah, I don't know much about Magik either. I'm like, yeah, I know it's Ileana Rasputin, something to do with hell dimensions, and she's got a big sword. And so I got a lot of people to pick up this issue #1 because I was like, this is a great jumping on point, especially if you don't know much about her. It really gives you everything you need to know. And it's a super ton of fun. I'm really enjoying this. I haven't read issue 2 yet, though.
This isn't a spoiler, but the side character that she's with, I forget his name, Cal, is a little bit more science and math based. She's Magik.
Yeah.
And she tells him a couple of times after a couple of conversations, just like, you'd be pretty good at this. If you don't know Magik, you'd be pretty good at this. And he just doesn't believe it. There's a scene in this towards the end where she's pretty much breaks down what Magik is that is so effing good. It's just like like I said, it's just math, defined principles realized, frequency divided by velocity, and she's doing a little spell.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool.
Nice.
It's just so well done and cool, and then it turns into the coolest goddamn music action sequence I've ever seen. This book is awesome.
Who is this writer?
Ashley Allen. This is like her second Marvel book.
Do you remember what the first one is?
Blood Hunt. It was like a Blood Hunt one shot.
Oh, okay.
Like she's net new to Marvel, and she's great.
Blood Hunter? Blood
Nope.
Hunters?
It was the Magik Blood Hunt one shot.
Magik Blood Hunt. I'm sorry. Magik Blood Hunt.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I don't know what she's done before, but if anybody knows of any I mean, I could look this up myself, but you know, engagement.
Yeah.
If anybody
Friendship.
knows of some indie work or other stuff that Ashley Allen has written before, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up with Amazing Spider-Man #67, Legacy #961, The 8 Deaths of Spidey. This has officially bored me. For me, this story has gone on too long, and I found myself not caring. Also, the art was not for me. We both like Justina Ireland, the writer, and so it's not her fault. For me, the oomph of this story has just sort of petered out, and I don't know if it's because of Peter himself and what's happening to him. But I found myself just kind of reading it and finishing it and being like, okay.
I agree with you, but I liked this issue more than I've liked others.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only because there's clarity in. So I feel like this issue should have happened like 3 or 4 before now.
Yeah.
But there's clarity in. First of all, I just love how this book opened, but then there's also clarity in how Peter feels about the situation. The last 2 issues, it was literally just like, I'm sad, and they didn't really explain it, or they like through other characters they tried to explain it, but this is the first time Peter is explaining it to me, and it was effective. I'm like, oh, this should have happened 3 or 4 issues ago. It's just been filler and filler and filler, and I liked the action sequences with the X-Men that she wrote. But yeah, the art's fine. It's not as good as Gleb Melnikov, and it's definitely not as good as Ed McGuinness.
No.
There's like 4 more issues of this.
No.
It ends with 70, and then there's a point one, so it's 68, 68.5, 69, 70.
Oh man.
I
You know the one thing at the end.
It feels like we're getting to the end, but I know that there's like 80 issues left, and I don't know why it's going on that long.
No, I have not been paying attention to how many issues are coming. So when I got to this is 7, it's the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. This is issue 7. I assumed number 8 would be the last issue.
He's only died like 3 times.
Oh, fuck. No. Okay, well, maybe the next issue will be better. But I'm officially like kind of bored.
Hey, welcome to the club. I don't think
Thanks.
this is bad. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like
It started off strong.
It's a well done comic. I genuinely, with every single fiber of my being, prefer Justina Ireland writing Spider-Man.
Sure.
Than Joe Kelly. Yeah. Which just puts a sting in it that I wish I cared more about this arc right now.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
Like the cool bits about this that started with it's like a mission from Doom, a magic costume. We're getting into it. I feel like none of that has happened for like 4 issues.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just been Peter kind of whining and being like, nah, I don't care.
This is 6 issues, but why he's whining is really, really good. And
Sure.
they're not like it's instead of exploring that, they're focusing on the
Excellent.
stupid demon shit.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a good point. I don't care about the relationships between these demons. However, I think the relationships is what gets one of the demons where they're going.
Sure.
But I just don't care about these demons.
I just feel like there's probably a much more efficient way to tell this story. This is a 6-issue arc that's been spread out to about 12 issues.
Yeah.
And it's really feeling like filler.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I'm bored with it.
Yeah. What a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, that was a downer way to end the show. But that's all right.
So, what's not a downer is this week we're going to be talking about the Twilight film, the first Twilight film on the live podcast. It's live Wednesday nights. If you can't catch it on Wednesday nights at 8 Eastern Central Time on YouTube and everywhere else you stream live, then you can catch it afterwards. But no matter what, it's going to be a banger of an episode. I have never seen Twilight in my entire life. And for Alice's birthday, we sat down and watched it without interruption, like a real movie. Because it's a real movie with real feelings.
Yes.
Like it's a real boy. And we're going to talk about the new movie, Hard Eyes. So please join us. But in the meantime, anything else you're looking forward to this week?
Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to Magik. I'm going to read Mine is a Lonesome Grave. Mine is a long lonesome grave.
Both right.
Hey, have you read any of the Sam Wilson Cap stuff that's coming out?
Yeah.
How is
it?
Okay.
It's not for me.
The Moon is Following Us by Daniel Warren Johnson.
I'm like
New
2
issue of
issues
that.
behind.
Same. I want to catch up on that.
I think I'm gonna wait for trade on that bad boy because it's just so good. I want to mainline it.
No, I'm gonna catch up.
Transformers, Absolute Batman was great.
Nice,
like it always is. I feel like we didn't talk about Absolute Batman today because there's nothing new to say. It just keeps being great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Do do do.
Skiddly-dee-doo.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.